Welcome back to Emma's English Talk, the place to be for mastering real-world English. I'm Emma. Tell me, does this sound familiar? You grab your snacks, get cozy on the couch, and spend the next 45 minutes just scrolling through endless movie titles, only to end up going to sleep without watching a single thing? Yes, we are talking about the dreaded streaming paralysis today. It happens to the best of us, including me. In a moment, we'll listen to a conversation about this exact struggle. For now, just relax and listen. Don't worry at all if you miss a few words, because we have our signature word tour coming up later to break it all down. Ready? Let's dive into the dialogue.
Welcome to Emma's English.
Have you ever sat down on your sofa, ready to watch a great movie, and then spent an hour just looking at the screen?
Oh, that happens to me almost every single night, Emma. I open my streaming app and I just start to scroll through all the options.
It is a very common problem these days because we have so many choices on our televisions and phones.
Exactly. And before I know it, my popcorn is cold and it is already time for me to go to bed.
I know that feeling so well, and today we are talking about this exact struggle of choosing what to watch.
It is funny because we have thousands of movies at our fingertips, but we still feel like we have nothing to watch.
That is because we experience something called choice overload, which makes our brains feel very tired.
Choice overload is definitely the perfect term for it, as there are just too many titles to look at.
When we have too many options, it actually becomes much harder for us to make up our minds.
That is so true, and I often find myself reading the descriptions of 20 different shows without actually clicking play on any of them.
And then, after all that searching, what do you usually do?
Well, most of the time, I just end up watching the same old comedy show that I have already seen 10 times.
I do the exact same thing, Tom, because it feels safe and we do not have to think too hard.
Yes, my favorite sitcom is definitely my go-to show when I am too tired to make a real decision.
A go-to show is like a warm blanket for your brain because you already know how the story ends.
It really is, but sometimes I feel a bit guilty because I wanted to watch something new and exciting.
You should not feel guilty at all because we use up a lot of mental energy during our workdays.
That makes sense. So by the evening, we have basically run out of energy to make even simple choices.
Yes, psychologists call this decision fatigue, and it affects many areas of our daily lives, not just television.
I can see how that applies to grocery shopping or choosing what to wear in the morning too.
Yes, but with movies, we also worry that we will make a bad choice and waste our free time.
That is my main fear, because my free time in the evening is very precious to me.
So if we choose a boring movie, we feel like we have lost 2 hours of our lives that we cannot get back.
Exactly. So we keep looking for the perfect movie, which does not actually exist.
Do you have any tricks or rules to help you avoid this search loop, Tom?
Sometimes I try to use the 5-minute rule, where I promise myself to click on the first interesting thing I see.
That sounds like a great strategy, but do you actually stick to it?
To be honest, it's very hard because I always think the next movie down the list might be slightly better.
It is like we are always searching for something better instead of enjoying what is right in front of us.
Yes, and I think another problem is that we get distracted by the previews that start playing automatically.
Oh, I dislike those automatic previews so much because they make the screen feel very noisy and busy.
They really do, and they make it even harder to just sit quietly and scroll through the titles.
Sometimes I ask my friends for recommendations during the day so I don't have to search at night.
That is a brilliant idea, because you already trust your friends, so you don't have to make the decision yourself.
Yes, I just write down their suggestions in a little list on my phone and go straight to that list.
But even then, I sometimes look at my list of recommendations and feel like I am not in the right mood for any of them.
Ah, the mood factor is another big obstacle because our feelings change so quickly.
Yes, one minute I want to watch a scary horror movie, and the next minute I want a light romantic comedy.
It is amazing how much time we spend managing our entertainment instead of actually being entertained.
It really is a modern problem that our grandparents definitely did not have to worry about.
That is so true, as they only had a few channels on their television screens and had to watch whatever was on.
Sometimes I think that must have been much easier because you didn't have to make up your mind at all.
I agree, as sometimes fewer choices can actually make us feel much happier and more relaxed.
So tonight, when you go home, are you going to try to watch something new or stick to your usual show?
I think I will try to be brave and pick a new documentary that my sister recommended to me.
That sounds like a good plan, and I will try to use my 5-minute rule and see if I can actually follow it.
Let us both try our best to spend more time watching and less time searching tonight.
That is a wonderful goal, and I hope our listeners can try some of these ideas tonight too.
I hope so too. And now let us look at some of the helpful words we used in our conversation today. Welcome to our word tour section. Let us look at 6 useful English expressions from our conversation today. Our first expression is scroll through. To scroll through means to move down or up a screen on your phone or computer to look at different things. For example, I often scroll through social media for 10 minutes before I go to sleep. Our second expression is choice overload. This is a noun phrase that describes the feeling of having too many options, which makes it very difficult to make a decision. For example, the massive menu at the restaurant gave me choice overload, so I asked the waiter for help. Our third expression is make up one's mind. This is an idiom that means to make a final decision about something. For example, you need to make up your mind about which dress you want to wear to the party. Our fourth expression is end up. This is a phrasal verb that means to reach a final situation, place, or decision, especially when you did not plan it. For example, we wanted to go to the beach, but we got lost and ended up at a beautiful lake instead. Our fifth expression is go to. This is an adjective we use to describe a person, place, or thing that we always choose because it is reliable and we know it is good. For example, banana bread is my go-to recipe when I have friends visiting for coffee. Our sixth and final expression is run out of. This phrasal verb means to use all of something so that there is nothing left. For example, we had to stop at the supermarket because we ran out of milk this morning. Thank you for joining me on this word tour. Try to use some of these words in your own conversations this week, and I will see you next time. Great job today! You did an amazing job practicing your English with us. I still can't help but laugh at Tom's story about his popcorn getting completely cold before he even decides what to watch. It is such a funny but true picture of how streaming paralysis affects us all. Tonight, I hope you can avoid the cold popcorn and find something great to enjoy right away. To help you study, don't forget that you can download the free PDF script of today's lesson in the description below. If you love today's talk, please like this video, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss an episode. Keep up the great work. See you next time.